beginning of the film, a pregnant woman named Natalia is introduced. Soon, the time for her delivery arrives. Natalia's mother, Alina, is present as well. Natalia's condition starts to worsen, and her mother immediately takes her to the hospital. Due to the late hour, most doctors are unavailable, but a nurse provides care. Natalia gives birth to a child. However, everyone is shocked and worried when they see the baby because what they witness seems unbelievable and surreal. The baby begins to float after birth. This astonishes Natalia and everyone present. Natalia then tells her mother that an angelic child has been born into their family. Being experienced and wise, Alina realizes that this is no ordinary child. It becomes evident that the baby is defying gravity. Fearing that the media might find out, they decide to leave the hospital quickly. When the nurse advises them not to leave yet, they ignore her and return home. Upon entering the house, Alina asks Natalia a peculiar question. Do you remember who the father of the child is? Natalia cannot recall the father's identity. Natalia admits she doesn't remember much, but they both agree that the child is extraordinary, and this secret must be kept hidden. They name the baby Oscar. Oscar turns out to be an unusual child, as caring for him is not easy. Often, when left alone, he gets stuck on the ceiling. His grandmother creates special straps to keep him on the ground and cushions the ceiling with foam to prevent injuries. They fear that if left outside alone, he might float away into the sky. As a result, they are very cautious about Oscar. His mother and grandmother take great care of him. As Oscar grows, he remains confined to the house. His grandmother never allows him outside. He watches Superman cartoons and dreams of becoming a superhero. He repeatedly asks his mother why he isn't allowed to go outside, but she avoids the question. Through the window, Oscar watches children going to school, feeling sad and longing for freedom. He wonders if he will remain trapped forever. One day, tired of confinement, Oscar tries to escape through the window, but is caught by his grandmother, who angrily seals all the windows. She tells him he will never go outside like other children and must study at home. Natalia gets upset, saying, "How long will we keep him locked up? He must go outside someday." She prepares a jacket with heavy objects in its pockets to prevent him from floating and takes him outside, against her mother's wishes. She warns Oscar to keep his abilities a secret, even from Superman, or he will lose his identity as a hero. While shopping with his mother, Oscar accidentally bumps into a young girl named Agatha, causing her belongings to fall. Agatha angrily hands him 2 water bottles, demanding he carry them to her house as punishment. Though Oscar initially refuses, he agrees at her insistence. Holding the heavy bottles and carrying stones in his pockets, Oscar feels the extra weight. He secretly discards the stones, and this marks the beginning of a friendship between Oscar and Agatha. When they reach her house, Agatha tries to take the bottles back, but Oscar refuses, knowing he will float away without them. Agatha snatches the bottles, and Oscar starts floating upwards, unable to ascend too high because of the moon above. Seeing this, Agatha is shocked and calls him Superman. She helps him by bringing a bag filled with stones, which allows him to descend. The two become close friends, but Natalia forbids Oscar from meeting Agatha upon learning she knows his secret. This raises suspicion among neighbors, who report to the police that Oscar is being mistreated and not allowed to go to school. Under pressure, Natalia reluctantly sends Oscar to school. Though Oscar's mother and grandmother believe he cannot lead a normal life, they tearfully comply. Eventually, they leave their home to live in a distant place, and years pass. Oscar grows up, his grandmother passes away, and Natalia ages. Oscar keeps the pink bag Agatha gave him as a child, even sleeping with it. He continues to live a reclusive life, feeling trapped by the secrecy of his identity. Longing for recognition, he dreams of becoming like Superman and revealing his powers to the world. However, Natalia fears losing him and persuades him to remain hidden. One day, Oscar secretly attends a talent show to display his abilities. The show becomes a sensation, and Oscar gains widespread fame. An agent named David offers to manage his career, making him a public figure known as the gravity-defying man. Oscar performs at various shows and events, but soon grows tired of being treated as an entertainment tool. He realizes he is not a superhero, but merely a puppet for others' amusement. In his final show, dressed as an angel, Oscar loses his temper and declares, "I am not an angel." He decides to abandon his career, telling his agent to announce that the gravity-defying man has disappeared. He says goodbye to his mother and starts a new private life. Years later, Oscar works as a hotel receptionist under a new identity. He reconnects with Agatha, who recognizes him by the pink bag he still carries. Though Agatha's life has changed, and she seems indifferent, Oscar still has feelings for her. Over time, they reconcile, marry, and return to live in their childhood home. The film ends with Oscar finally finding peace and love, leaving behind a life of secrecy and fame.